Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to this lecture video series where we are discussing research methodology. So, for those who have come to these video lectures for the first time, let me give you a brief about these video lectures. So, we are doing a course on research methodology which is divided into 5 units. So, first 3 units, as you can see on the video, we have completed. And today we will be starting with our fourth unit, that will be survey methods and data collection. So if you want the PDF of these lectures, all the lecture PDF will be provided to you on the Telegram channel Impacting a Class. After the class, I will upload the PDF and you can download it from the Telegram channel. Second, if you want to see the previous video, they are given in the playlist of the description. If you go to the description part of the video, you will find a playlist where you can see the previous videos. And third, I would like to request all of you to kindly like this video. Your one like gives a big boost to the algorithm of this video. So let's start the video. So first we will start about the organization and planning of survey. So what is survey? Survey is basically when all the people in a population are asked questions and gathered information from is called a survey. For example, we have seen the survey of population done in India every 10 years. It has not been done this year due to the spread of corona, but it will be done very soon. So that is known as survey. So first objective of survey is that we have to define the objective. So, objective, as all of you can understand, we have to define the goal. What is the goal? So, let's take the example. The first example, that we want to calculate the population. So, that we have defined our objective. Second, we have to design the instrument. What is instrument? How will we do the data collection? So the information that has been provided to us, how will we do the data collection? So in this case, how do we do the data collection? We use questionnaire. Through questionnaire, the questions are asked to the respondents and the answers are collected. So that is design instrument. Third is we have to organize the data. After we have collected all the information, we have to organize it. Like we can organize it on the basis of the members of the family. We are organizing it on the basis of the members of the family. So these are families who are living as joint family. Maybe these are the members are living far from home. So in this way, we have to organize the data. We can organize according to the requirement of the data, or we can organize as female, male, and transgender. So this is called organization of data, where we separate the data based on a few columns or a few criteria. Then we move on to the plan analysis. Then we do the plan analysis. Fourth is plan analysis. So in plan analysis, what we do, we understand how to measure the data. Suppose we have the data of female, the number of female in a particular state. Number of female in a particular state. So from the number of female, we can find out the sex ratio. What is the male to female ratio in our country or in that particular place? Second, we can find the child sex ratio. Child. And we can also find out hmm, workforce, how many of the women are included in the workforce. What is the educational level? What is the educational level of the females in that particular state? So, this is called plan analysis. When you have collected the data and separated the data, now from the data, which informations do you need? That is called plan analysis. Then we move on to budget and timeline. Budget and timeline, as the name suggests itself, it is very much clear to all of you, I hope, that budget is the amount of money that we can spend on that particular data collection. Suppose the country has decided that 1000 crore. I am just giving this as an example that 1000 crore will be spent on the data collection of the survey of India, and the timeline is for 1 year. In 1 year, we have to collect all the data. So that is called budget and timeline. Now, the last one is ethical approval. So, ethical approval, as you may have noticed, if anyone has come to your house for data collection during the time period of survey, you will notice that before data collection or before asking about the members of your house, they tell you about they will give you information and tell you about the survey. That for what purpose are they collecting the data? Tell you about survey. So for what purpose they are collecting the data? So this is called ethical approval from the participants. Now we move on to the next topic, that is census versus sample survey. So this one is very easy, but there is a critical difference which we have to understand. Suppose in a class there are 100 students. In a class there are students. And there is also another class. In this class also there are 100 students. This is my class A and this is my class B. Now, these 100 students, what are these 100 students called? These 100 students are called population. Population. Suppose you are given to study that out of these 100 students, how many students are there who are good in mathematics? Who are good in mathematics? Who are good in mathematics? So first you are told that you have to collect a census. So first you are told that you have to collect a census and see how many of the students are good in mathematics. So in first case, what you will do, you will collect data from all of these 100 students. All of these 100 students, you will collect the data and then present your result. And in class B, you are told that you have to collect a sample. You have to collect a sample and from there you can collect your data. Now while collecting sample, what you will do, you will not select this 100 students. Suppose for your study out of 100 students, you have selected 50 students. 50 students, and from them you collect data. That will be known as your sample. These 50 students will be known as your sample. So I hope you can understand the difference between census and sample. In census, all the students are taken and sample is data is collected from them, and in sample, out of the population, over here we have a population of 100 students. You select a smaller sample like 50 students, and from them data is collected. So let's go through the difference over here. First difference, as you can see, between census and sample. Coverage, entire population, subset of the population, entire population 100 students, we have taken the complete 100 students, and over here we have taken from 100 students 50 students. So it is a subset of the population. Every member of the unit, every member of the population, so 100 students, we have taken 100 students, and over here there is a selected representative, like 50 students will represent the 100 students. Now here the chances of sampling error is less. Let me take this over here. The chance of sampling error. So what is sampling error? Sampling error is any mistake which you do while taking the samples, while taking a wrong sample. For example, in first case, we can consider the 100 students. So we will collect the marks of all of the 100 students. So suppose 100 students, the average comes to 78 marks. So in census, we get that average student of 100 students is 78 marks. So suppose now 50 students I have taken as a sample. Now these 50 students are very good in mathematics. Now my sample comes to 85. Average of these 50 students come to 85 marks. So as you can see, my real result should have been 78 marks. But instead of that, I have got 85 marks. So there is a +7 difference between this. So this is known as the sampling error. So when we collect data from census, it has higher no sampling error, and in sample it has a subject to the sampling error. Then if we see the time, it will be more time consuming. That will be the less time consuming. Cost more expensive because more data is collected, and the other one is less expensive. Frequency. This when we collect survey, it is done less number of times. When we are doing research, you can see in research we will never do the survey. Most of the times we will use sample because it is more frequent, less expensive, and it is much more easier than to collect survey. Then applicability, smaller population, high accuracy needed. So when the population is small, we go for census, and when the population is large, we go for sample survey. Now we move on to the next topic. How will we determine the sample size? So first is our research goal. So what we are aiming to study. What is our aim to study? What we have to study? How much sample do we need? That comes under research goal. Second, we come on to the population size. Second will be our population size. So as I have suggested earlier, and I have read earlier, that whenever there is a large population, we will go for survey. We will go for sample. And when there is a small population, then we will go for survey. Now in sample also, there are two types of selection. One is called random selection, random sample selection, and the other one is called non-random sample selection. In random sample selection, what we do, we randomly select the people whom we want for our particular study. And in non-random, we know the goal, and according to our purpose or our ease of doing the research, we select the sample. So we will discuss in details in the next topic. After this only we have the different types of sample. In that we will discuss in details about it. So overall you have to get an idea about the population size. When the population size is large, we go with sample, and when the population size is small, we go with survey. Then comes desired precision. So whenever we look into the precision, mode will be the sample, mode will be the precision. For example, there are 100 students. There are 100 students. Now out of these 100 students, you have taken 50 students. And you have taken their marks. Now in the second option, you have 100 students and you have 90 students, and you have calculated the average marks. So which do you think will be more closer to the correct answer? Obviously, the one which has 100 students and 90 sample are there, it will be more closer and it will be more representative of the whole class. So in our desired precision, we can see that more will be the number of sample, the more precise will be our calculation. Then we come on to the population variability. Population variability. In population variability, what we can see? Let's take the previous example. Suppose there are 100 students. And for this 100 students, you have to calculate the math marks. And you have decided that you will take a 50 sample. So out of the 100 students, you will select 50 of them. So if suppose in 100 students, there are 50 students who are good in mathematics and 50 students who are very bad in mathematics. So your sample selection will be difficult because anyone can be very good or anyone can be very bad in mathematics. This is called variability because there will be many changes. But if it is a kind of less variability is there, out of this 100 students, 90 are good in mathematics and 10 are bad in mathematics. So in this case, it will be easier for you to take the sample because most of the students are good in that particular subject. So this is known as variability. The third one is your resources. Though resources comes onto the budget and the timeline which will be provided to you for collecting the sample. So now we will study about the types of sample. So types of samples, so basically there are two types of sample. One is called probability sampling and the next one is called non-probability sampling. So what is probability sampling? Probability sampling is nothing but it is called random sampling. When you pick up members randomly, it is called random sampling. For example, over here you can see that we have 12 members as our population. Out of these 12 members, you will randomly select you have to select a sample of 6 members. So first one is your random sample. You will randomly select 6 members out of these 12 members. So this is known as simple random sampling. Then we come on to the systematic sampling. In systematic sampling, there must be a system attached to the way you select the people. Suppose you, out of these 12 members, you tell that every member who has an even roll number, you will select that. Or you can say that every student whose roll number will be divided by 3, completely divided by 3, you will select them. So you will select the roll number 3, 6, 9, 12, and so on. Or you can say every student who has a roll number which can be divided by 4 will select them. So that is known as systematic sampling. Or in your exam, it can also come as systematic random sampling. Now we come on to stratified sampling. Now you have 12 students in your class. 12 members are there in your class. So first what you do, you divide them both in a homogeneous group. Homogeneous group is what? The group which has the same kind or same type of individuals. So you divide them into two groups. There will be 6 boys and there will be 6 girls. So both of these groups are homogeneous groups because all the members in these groups are of same type. So out of these 6 boys, you select 3 boys. And out of the 6 girls, you select 3 girls. Now you have your required sample, which is 6 members. So this is known as stratified sampling. Now we will move on to cluster sampling. What we see in cluster sampling, you have 12 members. Now what we will do, we will again divide this into 3 groups. But all these 3 groups will be heterogeneous groups, means they will have boys and girls, both the members. So you have divided into 3 groups, 4 members, and 4 members. Remember, these are heterogeneous groups and these groups will have both boys and girls. So out of the first group, you have selected 2 members, second group 2 members, and third group 2 members. So it comes to total of 6 members, which is your required sample. So this is known as cluster sampling. Now we will move on to the non-probability sampling. Non-probability sampling is what? When sampling is done but not on a random basis, it is called as non-probability sampling or non-random sampling. So in first one, we will see convenience sampling. So we will take the previous example. There are 12 members and you have to select the 6 members. So convenience sampling is what? The researcher will take the sample according to their convenience. So in first one, what we have done, that you have selected the 6 members who remain close to your house. So it will be easier for you to collect the sample. So this is known as convenience sampling. Then comes quota sampling. What is quota sampling? What is quota sampling? You have divided the students in a particular quota. For example, you have decided that for easier purpose, for the easier way of data collection, out of these 12 students, you will select the 6 students who are good in communication. You will select the sample of 6 students who are good in communication. So it will be easier for you to collect data. And this is known as quota sampling. Then we move on to the purposive sampling. So for the sampling, you have a particular purpose in your mind. So in this case, you have given a research that whether a political party is working good or not. Suppose you support that particular political party. So what you will do, out of these 12 members, you will select the sample of 6 members, only the people who particularly support that political party. So this will be your purposive sampling or your judgmental sampling. Judgmental sampling is the same thing, that the researcher has made some judgment in his mind. In this case, he or she supports that particular political party. So to provide a result in favor of that particular party, they will do the sampling in such a way that the political party is shown that they have done good work. So that is known as purposive sampling. The last one, we come on to the snowball sampling. In snowball sampling, what happens? One of the sample refers you to the other sample. For example, in snowball sampling, you are doing some research on drug addiction. So one of the drug addict will give you the address of another drug addict where you can get the information. And the other drug addict will give you the information of the third drug addict from where you can collect your data. So this is known as snowball sampling. I hope everything is clear to you. If you have any questions, kindly comment down in the comment section, and I will surely reply to your question. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we will meet in the next video.